Hello and welcome to YMT215 Logic Circuits. This is Malik Hadbawi. I'm your instructor for this course in the fall semester 2020-2021. This is just an orientation before we go ahead and start our sessions, real sessions. I know some of you are taking three of my courses, programming languages, discrete mathematics, and logic circuits. So the orientation sounds to you is repetitive now. However, not all of you are taking the same courses, and for this reason I have to give the orientation for those who are taking specifically logic circuits so that they know what kind of model that we are following or scheme for grading and so on. So let's just go ahead directly and start with the details of what's requested from you and what's expected from me. First of all, the correspondence. So for the correspondence, we need to know what kind of communication channel or channels we're supposed to use. I expect you to use your distance education environment. So you already know it. This is the common environment that we have at our university. And you're supposed to be familiar with it, as this is the second semester for us, while using it. So it's been the second semester, and I think you're quite familiar by now. The second method or channel, you can email me if there is any necessity. Just send me an email and expect me to reply within maybe the same day or maybe the same hour if I have time. And that's also possible. We will have live sessions, we will have live classes, synchronized classes. So during these classes I expect to have sort of live discussion. So we will have like a class, yes, but actually an online class. So I expect you to join me during the discussion. One thing I would like to say about the live session, I think according to the policy, I'll make sure of this and let you know, but according to the policy set by the top management, that you students have to attend at least 50% of these sessions. So make sure to attend classes. You may think now, how do we know? We will declare about them at least 1 week in advance. So you will have time to arrange for your live sessions. At least you'll have a week or so to arrange for your live session. You'll have to come according to the timetable available on the web page of our program. And you can check, and we will let you know that next week we are going to have a live session. So I believe this is clear for you to follow. You may call my office. This is my office extension. You can call the university and just reach our office extension. And for this, I expect you not to call me during the class times. Why? Because we may have live sessions, so I'll make sure to unplug the landline, not to have any disturbance during the live session. However, beyond the class times or the scheduled time, my classes during the schedule or within the working hours, you can call me and there will be no problem. Hopefully I'll be able to get back to you if there is any call coming from your side. Okay. What kind of textbook and resources are we going to use? For the theoretical part, I'm using Digital Fundamentals. This is a very good and basic book actually for students at your level. This is the global edition. I like the global edition, and it is the 11th edition also. I listed down the details here. It's authored by Thomas Floyd. So I believe you can get it. Last time I bought it also from here in hard copy. So I believe it's available. Do you need to have it? Is it a must? No, I wouldn't say it's a must. Most of the information I provide in the slide can cover the need for having a book. However, for those who are interested in expanding their knowledge or actually learning real knowledge from books, they can go for having this book. You can buy it online if you want or find it from somewhere, so that's up to you. But I still again emphasize that I do not make it compulsory for you to own it. It's totally up to you. And if you focus during my class, the theoretical and practical parts, both of them, you won't need to have this book along with the PPT slides, the PowerPoint slides. They would be enough. So as I said, it's totally up to you. What kind of other books do I use? I use digital design with an introduction to Verilog, HDL, VHDL, and System Verilog. These are actually programming simulators, or you can say simulators for the design of digital circuits or logic circuits. Why am I using this book? The theoretical part more or less is very similar to this, but the practical part is actually very extensive here, and I can take a lot of experiments from it for you while doing the tutorial or the practical. So that's why I'm using this book. But I wouldn't ask you to even go through it unless you are interested in going through it. I'll just bring some experiments and we do them together from this book. They are ready. Other than my own creation, I may create my own experiment or design and set it up. This one also, Digital Logic and Computer Design. The same author, actually, Morris Mano, for these two books. The third book here is actually focused on theoretical part. So I said about the second book here, Digital Design, is useful for practical more than theoretical, although it has good theoretical knowledge, but yet this one is enough. However, this one has some aspects not exactly covered in the theory or theoretical part here. Sometimes I refer to this as an educator. For you as a student, you have to confuse yourself much unless you are interested in going through different books or resources for the same topic to better understand it. Okay, so this is the idea. I mainly use this one again for theoretical and this one for practical. Okay, how about the grading? We spoke about the grading for other courses, yet for this course I'll have to repeat and explain. What I'm going to go for is like the following scheme. We will have assignments. How many assignments? 4 to 5 assignments. What kind of assignments I'm going to have? What we explain, I would like, actually whatever I explain, I would like to test you in it. So I would like to see whether or not you got the idea I explained. So I would be interested in giving you an assignment that transfers the theoretical knowledge I give you or I teach you in a practical way to an assignment or an answer of an assignment. So in that case, I would see what could you understand from me, what you couldn't understand from me. Have you done some research? Have you gone through maybe a resource? Did you properly read and listen? And so on. The wage of these assignments would be 20%, 4 to 5 assignments throughout the whole course. So it would be around like once in 2 weeks or so. So we will manage those. And please do your assignments individually. Do not send them to anyone. Do not rely on anyone. Why? Here's the thing. You could do that. I will not supervise you 24 hours. However, the problem is like this. These assignments will help you while solving your final exam. So they will make your final exam much easier. So expect us to ask questions from the assignments in the final exam, or at least we modify their ideas and bring them in the exam, so on the final exam. So you'll be trained to answer your final exam while just answering the assignments. Quizzes as well. So we will have quizzes very similar to the assignment 4 or 5 throughout the course, throughout the semester. They will have also the wage of 20%. And what kind of quizzes are we going to have? First of all, we will have like basic questions, multiple choice or fill in the gap. Also, we'll have some subjective questions, design questions, whatever it takes. So whatever it is needed. How about the time? For quizzes, they will be during the live sessions, and I will have to ask you to set up a camera, whatever camera for your PC. Buy the cheapest. It's fine for me if you do not have any. Just get a camera, connect it to your PC, or if you don't have, or if you are not using the PC, you can use your phone. And most probably you have a camera with your phone. I need to see your environment while having that quiz. In the previous semester, we had a problem with some like grouping of students, copying answers of each other. I don't want to have that. So these quizzes, we're going to be more strict, and you have to have a camera so that I see before the quiz your environment. You are not so many, you are around 30 students, so I can manage checking 30 students during the session. How long will the quiz be? Maybe 10 to 15 minutes max. So every quiz will not have that much of time. You will not even have time to search on the internet or try to get the answer from here or there. You will be just focused on answering the question within the given time frame. I may think about the project for the time being. We may have it. I'm considering it right after we pass maybe 8th week or 9th week. If we pass the 8th or 9th week peacefully with our syllabus on time, we may set up a small project with 10% wage. Otherwise, we have to skip this one and focus only on the quizzes and assignments and the final exam. For the final exam, if you manage to pass assignments and quizzes peacefully, most likely you will not have any problem with your final exam. That means you will be well trained for your final exam, and most likely you'll just score really a considerable mark, or you will get a good grade with the whole evaluation. One thing I would like to say, we are not quite sure about the final policy for the midterm and the final. It may change. Maybe our university will enforce us to use some other type of evaluation. So we may be forced to use midterm or to deploy midterm. Until then, if there's such decision, I'll let you know. I'll tell you, okay, we are lowering the wages of assignments and quizzes, and we are inserting midterm somewhere. So if there is any update from the top management or our faculty board about this issue, we are going for this scheme. Otherwise, we would just slightly change these wages and deploy a midterm somewhere. All right. Classes and notes. Where can you get the classes, the PowerPoint slides and the videos? Simply, you will need to use your distance education environment, ue.frad.edu.tr. Everything you will find it under the course. I'll provide links for all the needed details, and the videos will be uploaded to YouTube, so you can either subscribe. It's up to you, totally up to you. If you want to subscribe to my channel, that's totally up to you. Or if you would like to watch it from your distance education environment, I'll just provide a link for the video, and you can use your distance education environment directly from there to watch the video. The PowerPoint will be also uploaded there, assignments will be uploaded, quizzes will be also set from there. So all the assignments also will be uploaded, PowerPoint slides will be uploaded. So all these materials you have to follow with your page from the distance education. Weekly topics. So what kind of topics are we going to cover? Now, do not be puzzled by all the information provided here. These are details, actually, the whole details of the semester. So more or less we will be trying to cover them. However, we may add if needed. We may just skip if needed as well. So what are we going to take for the first week? Actually, first week passed already, but I will just upload it very soon. We were struggling with the registration and new semester distance education issues, so you don't have to worry about it. I'll make it up. We will have just an introduction about analog and digital, the conversion and so on. We'll speak about number systems, relevant issues to number systems, code tables, and so on. For the second chapter, we will speak about the conversion between number systems. We'll speak about also computer representation of numbers, negative and positive. We'll speak about also relevant issues like transaction processing, coding and coding types, binary number systems, and so on. So we'll speak about those in details. There are also like number of questions will come from these two chapters. Not likely the introduction, however, the second chapter, most likely will have a number of questions popping up during your quizzes or final exam. All right. Next to that, we will go to the real logic circuits and things our logic circuits are built on. Logic variables and functions, we'll go through those. At the beginning, we will speak about the basic operations we use in logic. Also, we speak about gates, logic gates, because everything is actually built based on these gates, and how we can also compose an integrated circuit using the gates or the logic of gates. Once done, we will speak about the ICs, the integrated circuits properties. So we will need to go through the properties of the integrated circuits and also the concept of Boolean algebra. So we will have to go through those. Why? Because they will facilitate whatever next actually. So for example, for the implementation of circuits based on logic gates, we may need to build a logic circuit using only one type of a gate. We will learn how. Just by one gate we can build the whole circuit, one type only, not one gate, one type. We will explain about that later on, and also how we can draw a circuit or a logic function from we can draw the logic diagram from a logic function. So that also will be, while studying that, we need some basic info. Boolean algebra could be one of them. We will also speak about logic diagram formulation of a given logic function. So if we have a logic function, how can we compose its logic diagram, or vice versa? We may have a logic design and we need the final formulation or the output of that logic function. We will speak about the simplification of logic functions. One of the most common ways and the most effective is the kernel diagram or map. Some people call it map, K-map. Some people call it diagram. So we'll speak about this one. This topic is extremely important and a lot of questions come from it. We will also discuss like combinational circuits, and we will speak why we call them, or we will explain or elaborate why we call them actually combinational circuits, not now, later on, because if I explain this one now, we haven't even gone through the basics. It would be a bit of actually an old explanation. I'm just giving you a brief. We'll speak about decoders, encoders. I think you are somehow familiar with the word. Now, not the concept, decoder and encoder, maybe code converter. You heard about these things. Multiplexers and demultiplexers, I guess you are not familiar with them, but they are made of logic design or logic circuits. We will need to explain them. And also the parity generators and checkers, those are usually used while sending and receiving information for making sure that the information, the digital information sent, is actually received with no error. So we'll speak about those later on details. Now, starting from chapter 10, we will have somehow complex design, logic design. We'll speak about comparators, adders, and arithmetic and logic unit design. So those are a bit more advanced topics. We'll speak about also PLDs. PLDs refer to programmable logic devices. So we'll speak about those also right next to that. Next to these topics 10 and 11, the weeks 10 and 11, we will have actually some other type of circuits to speak about. I wouldn't go for synchronous and asynchronous sequential circuits first. I would just teach you latches, flip-flops, and registers. Before then, I'll explain to you about the synchronous and asynchronous sequential circuits and state diagrams and so on, along with also the final part, asynchronous and synchronous counters. So I go through latches, flip-flops, and registers first. As I said, I may change or add or change the order here based on the need. Then we will discuss these two topics. Please do not be scared or actually intimidated by the information within these weekly topics. I'll try to make this course as easy as possible, and I'll try to make it fit your actually program, by not loading you with a lot of information related to actually main electronic courses or actually programs. And actually that's it for this orientation. Soon enough I'll start with chapter 1. I'll try to divide it to 4 actually videos and upload it to the distance education environment or page. Until then, have a good time. Goodbye.